Imagine sleeping outside in sub-zero temperatures. No electricity, no heaters, no modern insulation. Yet, for centuries, Native American families survived brutal winters inside simple-looking tipis. So, how did they actually stay warm? Many people picture tipis as just thin, flimsy tents, barely better than sleeping under a tree. But this common myth completely overlooks the deep engineering knowledge and survival science that went into their construction. The tipi wasn't just a shelter, it was a masterpiece of indigenous innovation, perfected over generations. Let's start with the iconic shape. The tipi's conical structure wasn't just for looks. It was a brilliant solution to the harsh winds of the Great Plains. Wind flows smoothly around the cone, instead of pushing against a flat wall, making it incredibly stable in storms. At the very top, you have the smoke hole, which is much more than a simple opening. It's an adjustable ventilation system. Two large flaps, controlled by long poles on the outside, could be angled to block the wind while still allowing smoke from the central fire to escape. This meant the inside stayed clear and breathable, no matter which way the wind was blowing. The shape wasn't just cultural decoration, it was survival science in action. Now, what about the walls themselves? They weren't made of thin canvas. A traditional winter tipi was covered with a layer of up to 20 tanned buffalo hides, all sewn together with incredible precision. And here's a clever detail. The hides were often arranged with the hair facing inward. This trapped a layer of air, creating a natural insulation barrier, much like modern double-pane windows. A summer tipi might use fewer hides and be designed for better airflow, but a winter tipi was a thick, protective shell. This heavy covering, combined with the structural integrity of the poles, created a formidable defense against the cold. Inside, the heart of the tipi was the central fire pit. It was small, efficient, and located directly under the smoke hole. This wasn't just a bonfire, it was a carefully controlled heating system. The tipi's design created a natural draft. Cool, dense air would enter from under the edge of the cover, feed the fire with oxygen, and as the air heated up, it would rise, carrying the smoke with it straight out the top. This constant airflow was key to preventing the buildup of dangerous carbon monoxide. It was a simple yet effective lesson in physics, ensuring the family stayed warm without being suffocated. But heat rises, so how did they keep the floor from being a frozen block of ice? The ground itself was insulated. People didn't sleep directly on the cold earth. Instead, they created raised beds using platforms of woven willow branches or by layering materials. They'd put down thick animal skins, like bear or buffalo robes, and often a deep bed of fragrant evergreen boughs. This not only provided cushioning, but also trapped air, insulating them from the cold ground and helping to retain the radiant heat from the fire. Of course, the structure was only half the equation. Personal warmth was just as critical. Clothing was made from expertly tanned buckskin, which is incredibly soft, durable, and a great insulator. They wore multiple layers to trap body heat, often with fur-lined moccasins, leggings, and robes. The placement of fur was strategic, turned inward for maximum warmth. And warmth wasn't just about architecture or clothing, it was also social knowledge. Families often slept together, sharing body heat in a communal sleeping area, a practice that significantly raises the temperature in a small space. Beyond the tipi itself, seasonal intelligence played a huge role in survival. Plains tribes were masters of their environment. They didn't just randomly pitch their camp. In winter, they would seek out locations naturally protected from the wind, like in a wooded river valley or the lee side of a hill. They paid close attention to the sun, often positioning the tipi's entrance to face south. This allowed the low winter sun to shine directly inside during the day, providing passive solar heating. Moving camp wasn't a sign of instability. It was a sign of deep adaptive knowledge. It's fascinating to compare this with the shelters of early European settlers. Many newcomers built cabins based on European designs, often square, with poor ventilation and a fireplace on one wall. These structures were frequently cold, drafty, and smoky. They struggled because they tried to impose familiar ideas onto a new environment, whereas indigenous peoples had spent centuries developing solutions perfectly adapted to the North American landscape. The tipi stands as a testament to the effectiveness of indigenous adaptation versus imported ideas. So, why does this knowledge still matter today? The tipi is a powerful example of sustainable design and passive heating. It uses natural, local materials and clever physics to create a comfortable living space without electricity or fossil fuels. This knowledge wasn't primitive, it was precise, refined, and life-sustaining. It's a crucial part of history that deserves to be remembered and respected. If this history matters to you, and you want to explore more stories of ingenuity and resilience, consider subscribing. We have many more stories like this coming your way. Thanks for watching.